I am Kirti Tiwari, Professor of English, presenting the second part of my lecture on ecocriticism. It has already been made clear in the first part of this presentation that ecocriticism is a critical theory that tries to analyze and evaluate environmentalism in culture. The purpose is to know how development has led to the present environmental crisis that has now taken global dimensions. In the first part, we dealt with various definitions of ecocriticism in order to understand what it means and then had a brief survey of its history. To proceed, let us get familiar with some of the basic concepts and terms related to this theory to get an idea of what it involves. Any student or critic who wants to do a eco-critical study of any work will come across these terms. So, knowing about them will help in critical analysis of any work from eco-critical point of view. I have enlisted some of these important terms, which are nature, ecology, ecosystem, ecological niche, deep ecology, social ecology, anthropocentrism, and ecofeminism. So let us take these concepts one by one. To begin with, what is nature? Nature is what the earth is and does without human intervention. It also includes natural human impulses as opposed to the conscious actions of human beings. Of course, natural is opposite of the artificial. This will help you to understand what is nature and what are nature writing, which an eco-critical study is done upon. Then we come to some other concepts and terms like ecology. Ecology is a systematic study of the interrelatedness of living beings that share common environment. Ecosystem is the local community or the region of living organisms that interact and forms as a single unit. Then ecological niche is the place which a species occupies in the ecosystem and how it functions. If we further classify, ecology has deep ecology, a philosophy that advocates that nature has its own value. It is not just for human use. So this is the right attitude. So long we have been considering it as something to be used by man and nature is for man. So deep ecology tries to rethink and re-establish human relationship with earth. And then it also addresses the basic mindset that is causing ecological crisis. Just as we have discussed in the first part also and in this one also, that our attitude towards nature is harmful to nature. So this mindset has to be changed. This mindset has to be changed to avoid the coming catastrophe, the future, the dangers of future. And this is possible if we try to bring about a spiritual and moral awakening. In the first part, we have already discussed how this is not an ordinary issue. It's an ethical issue and a moral one, leading to even spiritual. So, we will have to get to practice the ethics that our forefathers have thought about. We discussed how our ancient sages and seers, particularly if we take the example of India, they have tried to introduce some eco-friendly practices into day-to-day life, connecting them to religion and spiritual upliftment. We will have to go back to those practices and awaken our spiritual and moral consciousness. Then there is another term, social ecology. As we see, its viewpoint is that environmental degradation is linked to human exploitation. Generally, it is the tendency that whoever is more powerful dominates the less powerful one. So, this domination in human society is the mindset that is responsible for environmental degradation also. Because if you have that kind of behavior towards human beings, you will have the same feeling of domination in others for nature also. So, social ecology believes that improvement in environment can be done if oppressive hierarchies prevalent in human society are put an end to. All the great philosophical theories and philosophers have again and again said that we are all equal, we are all same. So, but we have been making so many discriminations and having superior and inferior and all such concepts in our mind. So this oppressive hierarchies, irrelevant hierarchies, that one is superior and one is inferior, which is prevalent in human society, that has to be abolished. And if we adopt a proper attitude towards human society, naturally and gradually the environment will also improve. Two other concepts are very common. One is anthropocentrism and its opposite ecocentrism. As the term itself makes it clear, anthropocentrism is a view which keeps humans in the center. It considers other forms of life as consumable resources for human beings. Means human beings, man is most important. All other things are for him to enjoy or utilize. Contrary to this, ecocentrism has nature in the center, ecosystem in the center, not human beings. It believes that nature should not serve only as background. It has its own entity. It has its own character. Remember Wordsworth, the great nature poet, about whom we have talked in first lecture also, he considered nature as friend, philosopher and guide. He said nature is everything and everything is nature. And he considered nature to be reflected upon, not to be used. And he saw in nature a friend, philosopher and guide, means a complete character. So nature is in the center. Then we have another theory which views ecology or our environment from feministic point of view. It's a philosophical and political theory and movement which associates ecological concerns with feminist ones. Just as females are being dominated and ill-treated and all, they equate it with nature also. So both feminine gender as well as nature are considered to have stemmed from the patriarchal society. In patriarchal society, man dominates woman. This tendency of dominating is seen in environment also. So, whether it is exploitation of women or exploitation of nature, the psychological, you can say, tendency is the same. Hence, a new perspective is needed to revalue nature and gender. So these were some of the terms. Then let us quickly glance over what methods are followed by an eco-critic. First of all, eco-critics analyze and evaluate the accepted age-old beliefs that have led to the present crisis. Some of them are, in Genesis we find, it is said, it is God's wish to exploit nature for his purposes. God wants man to exploit nature for his purposes. Then in classical tragedies we see nature exists for the benefit of mankind. And then in pastoral tradition, appreciating or encouraging the taming of nature is present. All these views or beliefs are contrary to what an eco-critic wants. Then he tries to reconstruct a text in context of nature. Works on nature are revalued, and traditional pastoral ideas of, remember, Wordsworth and others, that need to be adopted. That is the idea behind this method. Then social and ecological are linked together, and even the language, remember Wordsworth made an experiment with language also, language of common man. He made the language of literature. So eco-critics also try to re-establish the language of the commons. So this is in short about the basic concepts in eco-criticism and methodology in brief. In the second part, we have now understood what are the different beliefs that an eco-critic works against. They question the canons, and also different branches of eco-criticism that have come up. In the third part, we will deal with eco-criticism in practice. Goodbye.